wanted and how the Lord changed our hearts for wanting more children, and now we have 8, and how that happened. So Austin originally wanted 2 kids.
2.
I didn't necessarily have a number, like 4 maybe, but I didn't have a real number. And even Austin wanting 2 kids, we had Kaylee, and then it took me a long time to convince him to have Kolter.
Well, the reason I only wanted to have 2 is because I felt like you could not spend enough time with the 2 that you have, so why would you have any more and neglect them? Well, I found out that it's not about me fulfilling them, it's God fulfilling them. And so he convicted me.
Yep.
Only having 2. And plus I was selfish anyway. Very selfish. Wanted to go up and go do my thing, my dirt biking and snowmobiling, and the kids were just going to hinder me from having my fun. So,
Yep.
my sin.
Yeah, so we had Kolter, and then we looked at him and we were like, oh, he's so cute, let's just have one more. So then we decided we'd have so then Kryspin was born, like 2.5, he's 2.5 years, about 2.5 years younger than Kolter. And then it was during that time that I was pregnant with Kryspin that Austin had listened to a sermon by Vadi Bakum. And go ahead and share what it was.
He was just talking about God being sovereignly in control, and how we like to take over and make ourselves God of our own little world. Anyway, God's the one that opened and closes the womb. Genesis chapter 1. Anyway, just convicted me of me trying to make my own rules and not trusting Him for the provisions that He would provide if I'd just be faithful and trust Him. And so, anyway, God used Vadi Bakum in that sermon to convict me of my sin, and then also my selfishness, and then seeing that children were a blessing from the Lord and not a curse. And anyway, I'm very, very grateful that God has allowed me to have 8 kids. I'm very blessed.
Yep, so we went from like, I took birth control since high school, and then I took it after we had Kaylee, I took it after we had Kolter, and when Kryspin was born, I remember specifically being in the hospital
encourage one another because it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
Because we're not getting our time and we're selfish just as much as anybody.
Yeah.
We want our own time and our own thing to happen, and we're getting attacked by a bunch of little people that are wanting what they want.
Yeah.
Which I think of a Paul Washer sermon where he says, when you get married, you die to yourself. And then when you have kids, you both step down and die to yourselves. And so we got to constantly remember